In this video, we're going to talk about how Oxiracetam is really one of the best singular focus nootropics there is. And if folks have a problem with like getting down to singular level focus, then you might want to give Oxiracetam a shot. Okay, 2 minutes of product pro. Number one, we wrote a powerful stack list. I think folks spent a lot of time trying to figure out stacks with Noopept. Noopept, very powerful smart drug. Russian pharmaceutical compound, been around for a long time. Increases BDNF, works on cholinergic signaling. But folks have a hard time nailing down perfect stacks. I took about 6 years generally to experiment with it, and then 4 years very concentratedly to find good Noopept stacks, and I put them in the Noopept Pro stack list. Get it at livecortex.com. It's digital. That is a pretty advanced book, a pretty advanced digital guide you can download for a mobile device. On the novice side, basically new to nootropics, we wrote a guide too. It's called Smarter, Better, Faster. Teach you how to use nootropics, breaks down some racetams, Alcar, uridine, tyrosine, theacrine, research chemicals, phenibut, a bunch of other things. That is also digital, download for your mobile device today, livecortex.com. Then we wrote one that's kind of on the intermediary and more advanced side, but anyone can read it. It's called the Racetam God Guide. Download that for mobile as well. That's 80 plus Racetam stacks, very powerful Racetam stacks. You wouldn't even believe the kind of brain performance you can get from those stacks. We created a stack. It's called Cortex. It was a stack that I was taking to run a company 18 hours a day. Then I tweaked a little bit and formulated into a pre-made stack. The chief complaint among pre-made stacks, as everyone knows, is they're not powerful. I mean, they're not powerful enough. They might subtly work or whatever. We created one that you take it, there's no like, sitting there confused about, is this working or not? It's like, wow, I just killed my to-do list. Wow, my brain turned on. That's called Cortex. Get it at livecortex.com. Lastly, we do stack consulting. It's a consulting service on nootropics, so we'll help you formulate a stack, shave some stuff off your stack. You can ask me questions for an hour, whatever you want. It's 40 minutes with me on a call or video chat. Normally we take it into an hour, 15 minutes because I want to give value. 15 additional email correspondence. It's nootropic consulting. Get it at livecortex.com. Okay, so Oxiracetam is in the Racetam class of nootropic compounds. It's considered a smart drug. Very powerful. Works on, I think there's some AMPA signaling happening there with Oxiracetam. Predominantly, it gets the brain to release a chemical in the hippocampus, which is a memory-centric region of the brain that is essentially involved in facilitating focus and memory and verbal fluency. It's called acetylcholine. So Oxiracetam, you take it in 500 to 1,000 milligram doses. You can take it by itself. You can stack it with many other things like Racetams, even like modafinil. That's a whole separate video. We write about a lot of that stuff in the Racetam God Guide and some in Smarter, Better, Faster. But there really is no other nootropic compound that I've found that is really inducing of singular focus. Okay, let me just explain what singular focus is. I'm sure you guys intuitively understand what I'm saying, but look. These days, we have the tendency to want to focus on too much. Internet, Facebook, phones beeping, vibrating, or whatever. Like, there's just too much stuff going on. And I actually think our brains are being conditioned to do that longer term because of the environment, because of the digital environment, the digital internet environment, okay? And so as a result, like, we have a harder time shutting everything out. Our brains are sort of adapted to this, and we're just always kind of focusing on too much. We have a harder time shutting everything out, and we have a hard time going on one, mental functionality path, one focus path. And ultimately, I've come to learn as a business professional over the last 10 years that the only way to get a whole lot done is to be able to get into that zone, where things are working really quickly, yes, good working memory, yes, but where you can focus and you can hone in and you can get into flow and you can stay there. That's where you really get that's really the magic happens. Oxiracetam is one of those nootropics that does that. Okay, that, however it's working on acetylcholine and however it's working on AMPA receptors, I actually postulate there's some other mechanisms besides those two happening there. It really does facilitate a strong, solid focus stack. There's a couple Facebook groups that I'm a part of that I think some of you probably are a part of too, like Nootropics 2.0, and then there's one just called Nootropics, and then there's one called Nootropics and Biohacking in Australia. And in a lot of these Facebook groups, people report their experiences with Oxiracetam being exactly like this. Okay, so the major takeaway is, every different Racetam seems to do different things. I mean, even though they work on similar mechanisms, Oxiracetam and Nanoracetam are not the same in how they affect you. Not the same in how they affect me, no question. But Oxiracetam is absolutely the laser focus racetam. And I just want to do this video for folks that are new to nootropics, like, look, try some Oxiracetam if focus is your thing. You want to try to use nootropics in a surgical way to get a very particular brain state for an applicability on a task, for a productivity task, for a verbal fluency task, for whatever. That's the most surgical way to use nootropics, is to use them very specifically for intended outcomes. And OXR, the mighty OXR, is the laser focus racetam. Thanks for watching.
What's up, everybody? Ryan Michael Bauer here. Hey, thanks a lot for listening to the video. Thanks a lot for being here. But check this out. If you want to take your nootropics game to a different level, to the pro level, we've got 4 major products for you. Number 1, the Noopep Pro Stack List. I think of all of these, it's the Noopep Pro Stack List and the Racetam God Guide, which we're going to get to in just a second, and we explain in the video, that are the most advanced guides out of our guides. The Noopep Pro Stack List is a digital guide that explains a bunch of powerful sublingual, oral, and nasal Noopep stacks. It also has 20 bonus Racetam stacks. The gist of it is, look, it took me a long time, 4 years of concentrated experience trying to find the best Noopep stacks, putting them in a digital guide. It's like folks try for a while to find a good Noopep stack. They're like, you're weighing stuff out, they're adding different ingredients in, they can't quite get it right. I figured them all out. I figured the God stacks of Noopeps, and I put them in the Noopep Pro Stack List. Get that at livecortex.com. It's digital. Then the Smarter, Better, Faster guide, as you see right in front of you here, that is a guide for new folks. If you're new to nootropics, look, any of these guides will suit you, but if you're new to nootropics, this teaches you everything. Choline sources, racetams, stacking racetams, phenibut, research chemicals, modafinil, everything in between. Smarter, Better, Faster is a very powerful, information-dense, it's also a lot of stacks in there, digital guide you can download for anything you have. Then the Racetam God Guide. This is a little on the advanced level, but still, anyone could take it and get the stacks from it, and then can go implement those stacks, make those stacks, capsule the stuff, the ingredients that we've got laid out in the stacks, and then get a benefit from it. It's got 80 plus pro, highly advanced, super effective Racetam stacks. You got aniracetam, piracetam, oxiracetam, phenylpiracetam, nephiracetam, coliracetam, fasoracetam, all the major H nootropic racetams in that guide. And then the Cortex stack. The Cortex stack is really like, look, if you're really looking to take your nootropics game to another level, I created that stack to give people an idea of what nootropics really should be. The pre-made stacks that were out there were not that effective. They just weren't. The companies and the folks that own those companies, I'm sure, are great. They just weren't that effective. So I created a stack that was like blowing my mind and allowing my brain to really function well during an 18-hour period building a business. I then converted that to a commercial stack. It is called Cortex. It is strong, okay? Get all that stuff at livecortex.com. That is what you got to do if you really want to take your nootropics game to the next level. Get these guides. Get all these guides. If you're new, get the Smarter, Better, Faster guide. If you want a Noopep stack list that's highly advanced and surgical, get the Noopep Pro stack list. If you want some Racetam stacks that are extremely effective, situationally specific, get the Racetam God Guide. And listen, thanks so much for being with me. Go to livecortex.com and get these products. And my friends, be epic and achieve more.